Imagine what would happen if God tells everyone the exact date and time of their death. How will people react after knowing the exact date of their death, and how will this world become? Something like this is the story of our today's video. So let's see the whole story. The story begins with a photo of Jesus and a girl who tells that God was getting too bored before creating the world. Then he first created the earth and many types of animals and birds with it, and even then when God was not happy, he created a man and a woman and sent them to the earth, named Adam and Eve, who gradually had many. There were children who later turned into population and started fighting with each other over religion. Or when she tries to move the glass on the table with her eyes to impress her dad. So they start scolding God or someone on this. After this it tells us that whatever accidents happen on earth, all these are caused by God for his entertainment, and many such useless things are added by God in the lives of people to disturb them. One day, or when she goes to her dad's room, she comes to know all this truth from her dad's computer there. That's why while eating food, she tells her dad that you are very bad and do very bad things with people. God gets very angry on this. And they beat you a lot. In the next scene, we see that she talks with Jesus or tells Jesus that she wants to take revenge from God for the atrocities done on her. So she tells him, I too have to go to earth like you and change everything. On this, when Jesus advises him that I had chosen 12 people on earth to preach my religion, and with their help I also wrote a book Bible. Similarly, you should also go to earth and select your messengers and write a book. Due to this, this world will start running according to the same book, or from whom people ask the way to go to the earth, from whom they are told that they have made a way to go to the earth from inside a washing machine, by entering inside which you also reach the earth. Can be after this, she goes to her dad's room and messages the date of her death to all the people on earth to hurt him, and then after obeying her brother, she comes to earth, i.e. the real world, through the washing machine. Now let's see in the real world. All the people on earth had already received the message of the date of their death. Where everyone gets very upset knowing the date of their death, we see that a woman is taking a bath in the bathroom, and only then she comes to know in the message that she is going to die in the next 2 minutes. Now after hearing about his death, the woman turns off all the electronic things present in the house, so that she feels that her death can stop, but when she tries to take down the box kept in a cupboard, it falls on her and death becomes her. Now the whole world had come to know the date of his death. That's why people start doing anything. Then we see a boy who knew the date of his death, so he jumps from the roof to make a TikTok video, but nothing happens to him, because the time of his death had not come yet. While some people get sad knowing about their death, and others start doing their favorite things. When God sees this thing in his news, he gets shocked. He immediately goes to his computer and tries to restore everything as before. The computer was completely ruined. Seeing this, they start searching for God or someone here and there. But either she had come to the real world, and when she feels hungry, she picks up a burger from the dustbin and starts eating it. Just then she sees a beggar man on the street and tries to talk to him because he needed a man to write the book. That's why, or asks that beggar about writing, then that beggar says that he can write a little. Hearing this, she starts walking with the beggar and tells him about her mission. Along with this, it also tells the beggar about his brother Jesus. But that beggar could not understand the things here. Here he is very worried about God, and he tells his wife that I do not want what happened to Jesus. May it be with India as well. So to save God, he starts going inside the washing machine. While God's wife tries to stop him, but God does not listen to her. And come to the real world. Now she wants to find her messengers and convince them that she is the sister of Jesus so that she can change the world with them. After this, she meets her first milkman, who had not changed anything in his life even after knowing the date of his death. On the other hand, Imli was very beautiful, who lived alone in her house, and she lived in the Z's building. The people of that building were after Imli, but Hemli had no interest in them, and Humli had an accident when she was young, in which her hand was cut off. That's why Mili used to use artificial hand till now. Next we see Yaya with Imli, where she tells Emily about herself and then asks about her, but on this Millie starts crying about the accident in her childhood, so she tells Millie that I can't cry like you, but I can play music to people according to their situation. And it tells Millie that tonight when you are sleeping then I will play your music, and when Emily is near the table in her dream at night. The hand that once belonged to Malene was cut off in childhood. He starts dancing to the song in front of Emily, which makes her believe that she is really God's daughter. After this she goes to her next milkman John, who previously worked in a mall. But ever since she came to know about the date of her death, she went and sat in a park because John wanted to die a peaceful death. And then she goes to John and tries to talk to him and tells him that she is the daughter of God. But John doesn't believe what he says, so he calls a bird in front of John and starts talking to it. John is quite surprised to see this, but still he does not believe the words of Yah. After this the scene shifts and we see God trying to come out of a machine, where a woman gets scared seeing God coming out of the machine like this and pushes God out of there. Then when God gets hungry, he also picks up burgers from a dustbin and starts eating them. But just then some goons come there from whom God starts asking about his daughter, but those goons beat God thinking he is mad. We then see God in a hospital where God snatches bread from a small child and starts eating it, but then that child's mother beats God up. She then goes to meet her next milkman, Jack, who is very shy. Actually, Jack had never even touched any girl since childhood till date. So when he comes to know that he has only 83 days left to live, he spends all his money in luxury or shows him a new path and says that your voice is very good and you are related to voice. Some work should be done. Now Jack has no other way. Then Jack starts doing voiceover work in films where he meets the same girl he used to like in childhood, and then both of them become good friends. Here when the mother here sees the photo of Jesus. So earlier there were 12 angels in it, but when she looks at that photo carefully, the number of angels in it had increased from 12 to 15. That means the 3 people whom she had met had also become angels now. On the other hand, when God is hungry, he goes inside a church to eat food in a langar. But God has to face a lot of beatings there for breaking the rules. On the other hand, when God tells the father of the church that Jesus is my son, then on hearing this, that father also beats God badly. Next we see Angel Sherry, who was a professional shooter, and who didn't feel anything by killing someone. So when Cherry learns about the death of people that God has sent everyone their last date, Cherry takes a gun and goes to the park to kill people. Then she comes there and tells him her mission. Whereas Cherry came to the park to kill someone or the other, so she asks him to shoot the girl going in front, and she is none other than Emily. When Cherry shoots, that bullet hits Emily's artificial hand. It takes place. To whom it does not matter. Cherry is shocked to see this and then falls in love with him. Cherry then follows Emily to her house and professes his love by giving Emily flowers in the elevator. During this, Miley leaves without giving him any answer, but upon reaching home, Miley calls Cherry and invites her to her place. In the next scene we see Mother Tina, an old woman next to the milk, who was very romantic in her youth. On the other hand, when Martina got the date of her death, Martina wanted to spend her last moments with her true love. Then she comes to him and after telling her mission, she tells Martina that you will find your true love in the circus. Hearing this, Martin goes to the circus with Ian to find her love. when Martina goes near a gorilla in the circus. The gorilla extends his hand towards Martina, and Martina also touches him, and both fall in love. And Martina buys that gorilla and brings it to her home. Here, when God is unable to find ya, he gets upset to go back to his universe. That's why they meet God like this. They ask God to make everything right, but she starts running away from there without listening to her father, and God also starts chasing her. Then it takes that beggar and walks on the water of the river and goes to the other side. On the other hand, when God descends into the river to walk in the water, he falls into the water because all the powers of God were in his computer. We then see the last messenger, Willie, a small sick child. On the other hand, when the cat comes to know that he is going to die after 54 days, his dad tells him that he can do whatever he wants with his henna purchase. Then he tells his dad that he can wear clothes like girls. Wants to roam, and he goes out for a walk dressed like girls where he or she meets. Now both beings are of the same age, so both of them become good friends or show some magic to the cat, which makes Willie very happy. That's where you find out that the fish he ate in the morning. It's inside Deli, which talks to Deli and tells him that he has to go inside the water again. On this, going to Willie, he decides that he will die by going to the seashore in his last time. Here the police catch God and ask him for his passport. But God did not have any passport at all. That's why the policeman starts sending God to another country by making him sit in a plane. On the other side, she brings her 6 angels to the seashore, and all the people who were going to die on this day come there. Now they ask India that you were saying that when the 6 angels meet, a miracle will happen, but when will it happen? After this, we see that while cleaning the house, she reaches God's computer room, and when she goes in front of the computer automatically turns on. Here, found on the beach, starts waiting for his death. Then we see that God is being taken away by his policeman from the Zeiss plane. He suddenly crashes and starts moving towards them. On the other hand, when Ya's mom turns on the computer, sometimes it changes the program of Earth. He also changes the date of death of all the people living on the Earth. The same people who were waiting for their death on the beach, the date of their death also disappears automatically, and the plane, which was coming towards them after crashing, suddenly comes under control and becomes correct. Here, the computer changes the color of the Earth's clouds. At the same time, it makes many changes on the Earth, so that now people could walk underwater. Seeing this, she understands that her mother has done all this. She becomes very happy, and then in the next scene we see God at a washing machine shop where God tries to find the way from where he came. And with this the movie ends.